Hi guys, I'm Kumkum from Eisenbridge, and today we have Mr. Saket Bansal with us. So, hi Saket, how are you?
Hi, Kumkum. Good. Yeah.
Thank you very much for taking out time for this session with me, Saket. And Saket, actually, since last couple of months, I have been talking to many professionals regarding the discipline agile. So I thought let's have a quick session with you and understand this concept from you. So what is this whole discipline agile concept?
Okay. So disciplined agile is not something new. It's been there, and I have been working with disciplined agile directly, indirectly since 2015. Recently, since the PMI acquired it, say 6, 7 months ago, professionals started getting more and more interested in knowing disciplined agile. And I would say that people who are associated with PMI are showing more interest in disciplined agile. Now, what is disciplined agile? It's a it's a hybrid approach, or you can say it's a context sensitive approach, which can be applied at an enterprise level, not limited to the team, for agility. So it considers various possible challenges an organization might be working with the organization's business model, and according to that context it provides collection of options, good ideas, which one can select from and can create their own context sensitive enterprise level ways of working framework. And that is how I can describe disciplined agile.
Good, good. Actually, I think I'm clear about this thing, what is discipline agile. So what is your association with discipline agile?
Okay, so we started working with the discipline agile somewhere in 2014, 2015. And this started from one of the conference which we were doing in Delhi, India. And we invited Mark Line for that particular conference, and he gave his keynote around discipline agile. And I also end up attending training with him. And then that is where I got started. So when I got certified as a trainer, sometime after that, within a 6 months of that particular conference. And since 2015, I have been working with various clients as well as the training programs to deliver training around discipline agile. I have been even before getting into discipline agile, I had a quite good amount of experience with rational unified processes. So in a way, I could relate to many of the things which were presented in discipline agile, because it has a good influence from the rational unified processes as well. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So this is your association or Eisenbridge association with discipline agile. Great. So, Saket, tell me one thing. What is unique about this discipline agile?
That's an interesting thing, and many of the clients, especially the Eisenbridge clients, are usually the one who do at least 4, 5 training programs with us, and they have been working with us for more than 5 years. That's an average life of any client who works with Eisenbridge. And they may wonder, and I can understand they might be asking you that, okay, we understood Scrum from you, we understood Kanban from you, we learned SAFe from you, and what is this discipline agile and how is it different, and what is uniqueness about it? Now, the way I see the discipline agile, one thing is it is not giving only one way of working. It let you find out, customized your own way of working by using some collection of good ideas. So this is something unique. So there is no ready-made framework. In the discipline agile, initially the coaches and the organization stakeholder come together and they kind of create their own framework with the help of existing tools and techniques which are represented in discipline agile. The another thing which is unique about discipline agile is it embraces various good ideas. So for example, it includes good ideas coming from Scrum, it includes good ideas coming from Lean, it includes good ideas coming from Kanban, program management. You can say some influence of good ideas coming from Scale Agile as well. Some of them are coming from the RUP time, even the traditional project and program management. So all those ideas are I would say cohesively integrated in this particular framework, and the practitioners can find out multiple flavors and they can make use of it. The third thing which I find pretty much unique about discipline agile is that it also considers project way of working. and that is why I feel the PMI also integrates well with it. Most of the agile approaches, be it Scrum takes as a product development. You have a product and you keep working on the product by way of continuously delivering product backlog items. The scaled agile looks at that, okay, you have a value streams and you keep working, building solutions, and you keep prioritizing it. Now, what happens? Still, there is a large number of organizations where they do start and end kind of project initiative. They have specific budget for a specific duration, or a kind of the duration may be in a range, but they have something like one time significant amount of effort kind of work also going on. So Discipline Agile also provides approaches for project way of agile delivery, along with the product way and the continuous flow based approaches. So this is the another unique thing which I see. So if I say it's a context sensitive, people can find their own options. It's integrating many of the great ideas, and then it also caters the project way of doing things. Yeah.
Okay, that's actually very important piece of information which you shared. It's a project approach. That's awesome. So, Saket, one more thing, I was talking to participants also, and many people asked me about the scaling part. So there are some other frameworks also for the scaling in the market. So, I mean, is it a good framework or a good approach for scaling?
Okay, so the question could be like this: that is this discipline agile delivery is also a discipline agile is a scaling framework? Is an agile scaling framework or not? So let's understand these kind of a layers or things discipline agile has. It used to be 4, but now we are thinking like a 3. So it's like this: at a core level, we have a component called discipline agile delivery, and this particular component is a, like I would say, it's a huge knowledge base which tells us how to do a software development. It takes care of starting from understanding customer needs, and also looks into a production deployments and all those things. So that's a discipline agile delivery component. On top of it, there are integration of release, support, operations, security, data management, and this kind of this layer, which is called discipline agile DevOps. So nowadays, the way discipline agile looking is that discipline agile delivery and discipline agile DevOps are part of one layer itself, which is discipline agile DevOps. Then it goes to a second layer, which is a value stream layer, where you are aligning your development effort with the value streams. And then it also has a layer which is going at an enterprise level. So the way the discipline agile has been in design, it takes care of your horizontal and vertical scaling. So when I say a vertical scaling, it also has an approaches which helps us in doing governance at an enterprise level, doing portfolio management at an enterprise level, even coming up with a sales and marketing options at an organization level, then and it aligns it to a development effort. So and this part of this, I say a vertical scaling, is targeted towards business agility. When you have this, you can even do a business agility. You can achieve business agility by taking help of discipline agile. Now the another part is, which is like a horizontal scaling, where you want to work with the multiple teams and do various coordination and planning related things. So the discipline agile delivery also, the bottom part also comes up with various approaches which you can consider, which you need to apply at scale. And when you talk about scale, which might be the things might be related to geography, things might be related to number of people, domain integration, and all those knowledge base is part of discipline agile delivery. Now, what is different, especially when someone compares with SAFe, they don't give you a ready-made flow for doing something. So it is not like you can configure a safe kind of a flow, especially for a program management thing, by using options coming from discipline agile. You may configure in a different way also. So what it is, for example, you may come up with that, okay, we want to integrate multiple teams and want to make sure that they are looking towards a common purpose. So you can do a PI planning kind of thing, or you may do a look ahead planning kind of thing. So there could be 2 alternatives. So depending upon which alternative you pick, you can configure your scaling framework for you. But it gives you all the possible ideas which can help you in designing your scaling framework, but it doesn't provide you a ready-made framework, because the foundation of discipline agile is that your context may vary, and just telling you that do this, do this, do this, integrate this particular way, show demo like this, may not be suitable in each context. So yes, it's a scaling framework. It gives you all the tools and techniques at horizontal as well as vertical scaling, targeting business agility, but someone has to put their mind to come up with a usable framework using discipline agile.
Wow, well said. Thank you. So another thing, I was thinking, so who can get the benefit from discipline agile, and who should do discipline agile?
Yeah, so this is something like, I think, everyday question, and especially when we deal with in a market where people are looking discipline agile for their career enhancements, so there is a good number of professionals who are learning new concepts so that they can get some progress in their professional life. Now, what I see here is that when your experience aligns with the concept, you get maximum output from it. Until you can also get out from it when you have an intent to go towards that. So either you have an experience of doing that kind of work, and then you add discipline agile, and that makes you use of it, or you may have some lack in your experience, but you want to add this so that your future direction takes you towards that particular space. So I would say the professionals who are working in mixed approaches, so they end up working in a complex environment where 100% one way of working is not feasible. Say everybody cannot use Scrum in the environment which they are working on, or everybody cannot use even say a Kanban. So professionals who are working in a context where some part of the organization, some part of the team may make good use by working in a flow-based system. Some part may make good use by making an iterative kind of a Scrum-based process, and some part may use a program approach, which is like SAFe. But not everybody is not using SAFe, everybody is not using Scrum. So there is a variety is there. And I would say, and this is a good percentage of organization falls under that category. So those category people may take a lot of benefit by expertise, by developing expertise in discipline agile. From a branding point of view, the organizations who are inclined towards project management and PMI way of doing things, they may also adapt towards discipline agile more openly, because it's an agile way of doing projects, or it also provides an approach of doing projects using agile. So I think those professionals may get more benefit who are aligned towards PMI approach, who are working in a variety of situations where different approaches makes sense.
Great. So another thing now I'm thinking, so who should do it? I'm clear about that. How I can select the certification for myself?
Yeah.
If as a professional I'm thinking to pursue something, so how I can select the certification, right certification for me?
Okay, so it's a little bit, so since the discipline agile PMI integration started in, and there could be a little bit of confusion around that. But I would say there is a straightforward recommendation from PMI that you can take some foundational level classes, and then there are some certification which can get enabled based on that classes. So one of the class which is delivered in 3 format, 4 days, 3 days, and 2 days, is called DALSM class. So Discipline Agile Lean Scrum Master class. So I'm talking about a class. So this particular class has, if it done in a 4 days, it has a lean fundamental, it has an agile fundamental, and then you talk about a DA fundamental and selecting your wow. So these are the 4 topics. If you do in a 4 days, you end up doing all 4. Professionals who has an understanding of lean and agile already, they might have done Kanban programs, they might have attended CSM programs or something. So they feel that they are good in that, or they can do a self-study towards that. They may just take the 2 days program, which is the minimum one has to take, which primarily talks about the discipline agile fundamentals and the choosing your ways of working. So choosing your ways of working is more about applying those fundamentals in configuring your system of working, or a ways of working. Now you attend this 3, 4, or 2 days class, which is called a DALSM class. And by attending this class, it enables you for multiple certificates. So just by attending, you get a discipline agilist, just a discipline agilist certificate, which is kind of a participation certificate. And you also get a code to give an exam. And if you give that exam and pass it in a 1 month time after attending the class, you get certified as certified discipline agilist. So this is like you attend a 2 days class, you get a participation certificate, which is a discipline agilist, and you pass the exam, you get certified discipline agilist. Now, after this certified discipline agilist, you have multiple options to go forward without attending the class. And that's why sometimes people get confused. So if you achieve CDA, if you have already done PMI ACP, from a PMI, then you can directly upgrade your CDA to CDAP, Certified Discipline Agile Practitioner, I guess. Yeah, so you can upgrade it to a CDAP. If you have not done PMI ACP, then you can apply by way of demonstrating your agile experience. They have a particular format, and once they approve it, then you may go to a CDAP. From a CDA, there is another path, which is a leadership path primarily for team leaders and scrum masters, which is called DALSM path. So in that also, there is an application. PMI is doing like a quite fast reviews nowadays. So most of my clients who appeared in a session last month, they got this application reviewed in half a day. So earlier it used to take a week's time, but nowadays the feedbacks and the responsiveness of PMI is increasing day by day. So you don't have to get confused. You finish your CDA straightforward, look at a site, you get an application, download it, fill it, and send it across. If they have any feedback, they will let you know, else they will just process you to a DALSM. So these are the things which can open up. And once you open up these things, you can also go to Future, which is like a discipline agile coach or discipline agile instructor. But these are the, I think, initial level you can start with.
Awesome, Saket. Awesome. Actually, you have covered in this answer almost 5-6 questions of mine. I was thinking to ask you about the different certifications and all. So this piece of information is very important. And recently, I mean, I've talked to many people, and they all were asking about the path and okay, what I'll get, what is the certification I'll get after the this class, all these things. So you have covered many questions. Thank you very much for this answer. So any special comments, Saket? Any information, anything you want to share with audience?
Sure. So the idea here is, see, you don't have to attend a certification program in order to know the discipline agile. One of the things, if you want to just explore, and the certification is not necessarily a professional goal as of now. So PMI is putting up a great website now for Discipline Agile, and you can find the link in the description of this video. And this particular, the collection of URLs provide you sufficient information related to Discipline Agile. So I would encourage you to check that part. It also has a start here thing. And if you can just navigate through it, you can find some collection of videos created by the Discipline Agile creators, which can give you a sufficient amount of understanding of Discipline Agile. The another option which you have is, especially the people who are already a PMI member. So if you have a paid membership of PMI, you can go to a PMI website and download a book, Choose Your Wows. So this particular book is available as a part of your membership. So I won't say free, as a part of your membership. It's available and you can get it in a PDF format, the way you get PMBOK. So you can get in a similar way the Discipline Agile book, and you can just go through it. It's a very nice resource, especially for the people who are into coaching and consulting professionals, because you get an overview of so many varieties of tools and techniques which has been in practice or in use at multiple context level. There are people using it and making benefit out of it. So I would encourage you to check that particular book. I would encourage you to check the website. And based on that, if you feel that you want to brand your profile and want to take some career advantage by showing your expertise in discipline agile, then you can definitely approach the certification path, and we can guide you to get there. Yeah.
Great. Thank you very much. So I think we have covered many questions, and I'll ping you again if I need more information on the same topic. But I think for now we are good. And my email address is mentioned below in the description. If you have any questions, you can email me, and I'll ask on your behalf from Saket. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kumkum.